guess playing quarterback in high school, what sort of can you take from that and playing quarterback? Is there anything you can take, and how does that help you?
Yeah, it's like I learned I know the coverages because quarterback you have to know coverages to make the play quarterback. So they make the coverages easy for real.
What was it like, just kind of first chance to get out there? I know you played some last year, but in front of a crowd and get game experience.
It was fun, for real. I always dreamed about it, but being really out there was another feeling. It was fun.
How'd you think, after looking at film and stuff, how'd you think you played?
I think I played good. I got a lot of stuff to work for. I think I played decent.
How did the switch overall go? I mean, going from wide receiver to just the defense, did it help you going up against some of the guys you're now playing with?
Yeah, but last year we had COVID. We had a lot of people out, so they asked me would I have a problem with it. I was like, no, I was going to get on the field. So it was basically like that.
So it started as a necessity, but now it's you couldn't see it going any other way.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know if I'll ever play offense again, but I say I love playing defense now.
How did the process of switching positions work for you? Did they just permanently, I guess, when it was a necessity, did they tell you would you be down to do this permanently? And you said yeah, or did they just kind of say you were?
Basically it was at first they needed me, they seen I was kind of good at it, so I just basically kept getting better at it.
What have you seen now that just looking at Kentucky so far? I don't know how much film you guys watch.
I see they got a good quarterback, line. They got a good dynamic playmaker, so we all got to be dogged in this league to stop them.
How much different do they? I mean, I don't even know if you were in the defensive meetings last year when you guys played them, but I mean, they barely threw the ball last year. Now I think they threw for 400 on Saturday.
Yeah, I think they just got a new offensive coordinator, so they learning new stuff too. So we just got to be down there and running and passing.
What have you relied on, I guess, to sort of learn the position? I mean, it's sort of a newer, I guess, thing for you and everyone. What have you sort of leaned on that for help?
I lean on everybody I can lean on that'll help me for real. I lean on everybody.
Is there anything universal about playing either high school quarterback or wide receiver here or defense here that you use kind of overall?
I think I use all of it for real because receiver is ball skills on defense. And quarterback is just knowing where I have to be and what coverage I'm playing.
Have you found a home with your defensive backs for your year at Mizzou?
I have. We all have a good relationship. We all love each other.
When did you actually start going to those defensive meetings last year?
It was probably South Carolina week, I think. That was the first defensive meeting I went to.
Did it feel odd kind of just switching, or is it just your routine, or how did that go?
It did feel odd because I remember I came out here and I went to the receivers because I had basically forgot I was still in that defense.
But now it's normal.
Yeah, it's normal.
Any other questions?
Where do you think the unit goes collectively from here after week one performance?
I feel like we just gonna keep going up and getting better as a unit.
There's a lot of things that we have to improve on, as you guys have probably already commented about the game this past week. Definitely one of the things that we got to make sure that we show up is our run fits. We got to stop the run. Kentucky does a great job of running the football. I think Rodriguez had probably 125 yards rushing last week. Very dynamic football team. When you look at their offensive line, it's probably not one of the best, if not the best, one of the best in the SEC. So we got our hands full up front. Very massive. They come off the ball, do a great job, and they do an outstanding job for us protecting the quarterback as well. On the outside, you look at their receivers. Robinson transferred from Nebraska. The guy's phenomenal. Can take the top off at any moment. And Ali, as we know, what he can do, and he did it last year. So it's a challenge for us, and we're definitely looking forward to it.
You mentioned the rushing ability of Kentucky. They've got a quarterback who threw for over 400 yards, I think, the other day. What does that dynamic add to their offense?
Well, I think it's just exactly what you just said. Their balance, it creates a lot. And when you can run the ball and then also create the play action off of it, it makes them a very explosive offense. So we got to do a great job of trying to make these guys one-dimensional, which is number one, stopping the run first and making sure that we don't give up the big shots over the top.
Steve, I know there was a lot of talk last spring about playing a little less man and more zone. Did you guys play more man than you planned on Saturday? I know Coach Stu said he thought you were in it a lot.
When you look at the film, yes, we did, based off the situation in the game, just really trying to create a little bit of pressure up front and try to get out the quarterback, which I thought we did pretty good at times, ending up with 9 sacks. So we got to do a much better job for us getting pressure up front without blitzing all the time. So that's one of the key things that we're looking to do this week.
Stuff in the run defense easily fixable? Would you feel like you fixed it overtime during the game on Saturday once you got the second half?
I do. When you really look at it, it wasn't really like a lot of problem runs. It was really one guy at one point in time not executing and doing their job. So we got to do a much better job of really being disciplined, still working on fundamentals and technique, and really just staying into our gaps.
Marquez on Saturday said something. You created some sort of play like right on the fly, like in the ground or something like that. Like, what do you remember about that at all? And how much of those adjustments do you like to do in the game?
Well, I think at any time when you know exactly where they're going within the flow of the game, and there's something that you can try to create for your players or create a spark. I knew they were doing something, and I just tried to fabricate something on the sideline to put guys in position, and we ended up getting a sack off of it, which really helped us in the end in the fourth quarter.
What impressed you the most about Chris Abrams' training, I guess, on Saturday?
Well, number one, being an offensive guy, coming over here and having the first shot at playing defense and starting, I thought he performed well. The lights weren't too big for him, number one, and I thought he did a good job in coverage. He made a great play down the sideline and breaking the arm, something that we teach and talk about all the time. So he's only going to continue to get better. Our biggest thing as a team right now, most importantly the defense, is game 1 to game 2. We got to make a major step in our improvements, and that's what we're looking to do this week.
A couple new guys played well, Blaze and Caleb. Were you expecting those kind of performances from
Well,
their first
I was
game?
hoping so. They had a great training camp. They did some good things. So you never know until you get in the game exactly how it's going to go. So the way those guys stepped up and performed, I was excited about that.
How much can you take from matching up with Coach Cohen when you guys were both in the NFL?
Well, I'm sure he's probably looked at me just like I looked at him with the Rams. He looked at Cleveland, probably Carolina. So, different personnel, of course. But, when you look at the scheme, a lot of carryover on both sides.
Coach, Kentucky has 2 offensive tackles that are of NFL caliber, Darrell Rosenthal and Darian Kennard. What's the plan to attack the edges?
Well, I think number one is everything we do starts up front. We got to do a great job of controlling a lot of scrimmage. It's going to be a challenge for us. They do have 2 outstanding tackles. I think the whole offensive line is pretty good. As I mentioned earlier, I think they're probably one of the best, if not the best, in the SEC. So we got to do a great job stopping the run and trying to get pressure on the quarterback.
Sean Robinson came in and played that nickel spot from time to time on Saturday. What kind of flexibility can he bring to that position?
Quite a bit, just because number one, he's big enough to be able to fit in the core and stop the run. He's fast enough to be able to play out in space. He's played safety, and he has cover skills, so he gives us a lot of flexibility at that position.
You were impressed with Wingo on Saturday. You got a lot of snaps for a freshman playing the first college game.
I've been impressed with him, since day one, just really his approach and how he practiced. I always like to use the phrase, particularly talking about young guys, it's not too big for him. And he stepped up in the same way he played, it's the same way he practiced. So I'm hoping he can continue to progress and get better each and every week.
I guess what has impressed you the most about Chris over there in sort of his first full year playing on defense?
His intensity and being able to play fast. I was just saying, it's been inspiring to see how he's been able to, evolve in his game, and I've seen him change direction, and it's crazy, you know what I mean? It's really inspiring me to continue to work on my game. So I'm proud of my boy. He works so hard, he's selfless, does whatever the team needs, so so I'm just excited for him.
Walk us through the interception on Saturday. What did you see from the play, and when did you realize you had it?
Yeah, it was 3rd down. Number 88 is their go-to guy, so I figured the quarterback was going to key in on getting the ball to him. And he, released outside, and I was just feeling pressure. And as soon as he broke, I felt like I was in a good position, so I looked back, saw the quarterback about to throw it, and just undercut it. And he actually threw it behind him, so I caught it. As soon as I got it, got up, ran to the end zone. I didn't really know what to do with it at that moment, but I just ran to the end zone, just felt the energy from the crowd, so it was lit.
You said you had a celebration that you had planned, but did you get to do it, or did you forget?
In the moment, I wasn't thinking about it. I probably got a flag for it anyway, so it's a good thing I didn't do it. But I think next time I'm gonna get an interception. I'm going to the sideline and I'm gonna do a little dance for y'all. So it's gonna be good. I'm gonna be ready.
I think I remember that's your first college interception.
Yeah.
I mean, was that everything you thought it would be?
Yeah, I didn't think it was. And really, when it happens, I feel like you know, you get that weight off your shoulders, like, okay, I finally got one. And then now moving forward, I'm looking to do it more, you know what I mean? So I'm just looking to put myself in position more often to do that, to help the team in whatever way I can. So
Was that weighing on you?
it was a little bit, you know. It's always in the back of your mind as a DB, you know, but you still got to play your game. And I was just telling other people, you got to be able to visualize that type of, you know, success in the game. And that's something I've really been working on this offseason, the visualization aspect of the game, because, you know, anything in life you really want, you got to be able to see that, right? So that's really what I did and came to fruition.
As an older guy, do you feel like you're like sort of taking on the leadership role of guys like Chris and other stuff? And like, what do you, if you have, like, what do you sort of try to explain to them and teach them about what you've been?
Yeah, most definitely. I think the key aspect I bring is, you know, showing them what professionalism looks like. You know, you're never too young or to be a pro. I've seen freshmen that have a pro mindset, right? So I just try to bring that to them if they don't already have that. And they embrace it. I feel like we're all taking on that challenge of playing like a pro and studying like a pro, no matter what the situation is. So that's the type of leadership I try to bring. And I feel like I've done a decent job so far.
Freshman on the team, do you think so far have shown that pro mindset?
Man, in terms of the DBs, I know DJ, I've had conversations with him just about, you know, what does that look like, you know, as a young guy, because I was told when I was a freshman, you're never too young to be a leader. Leadership has no age, so I try to instill that in him within our room and stuff like that. And I even talk, like, it don't matter who it is, whether it's a freshman or a walk-on. Like, most of the guys I'm typically cool with, honestly, are walk-ons because they had a mindset like, you know, I'm gonna go get it, right? So it's easy to have those type of conversations with them too. So, yeah.
You know, first game in the SEC, wearing the Mizzou uniform, Matt Farrell, what did it feel like?
It was amazing. You know, before the game, you might have some jitters and stuff like that, but once the ball's kicked off, you know, you're just locked in. You know what I'm saying? And then whenever you make a play, you hear the crowd, and it just excites you, it just motivates you even more. So it was definitely lit. I love the atmosphere, and I can't wait to, you know, be in that position again.
You know, we talked a little bit about it already, we talked to Chris about it, but, you know, this Kentucky offense brings a lot to the table. You know, transfer quarterback who threw almost for 400 yards last week, 4 touchdowns. A transfer in Wandale Robinson who can do a lot on the outside. What's the game plan from a quarterback standpoint?
Yeah, just be physical. You know, anybody who is, whether it's fast or explosive offense, you just got to be physical with them, slow them down. So that's our mindset going in the game, really. But I feel like if we establish physicality throughout the defense, we're going to be good, especially in the cornerback room. I feel like we're going to do that. So let's look for that.